Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Imran bin Ishak. Today I will be demonstrating our network services setup for CloudNet solutions. Me and my group will be demonstrating 4 services. Now I will show the central server on our network. Now I will show the IPA for on the server. We can see here the IP address for the server is 192.168.10.1/29. The IPA for on the client, the IP address the client got from the DHCP server is 192.168.10.2/29. Now I will show the restricted configuration in the dhcpd.conf. We can see the subnet mask used in the network is 255.255.255.248, which means this is /29. Now I will show the service status of the DHCPD service. I have restarted the service and I will show the status of the service. We can see here the DHCPD service is active running on the server. And the subnet mask used in the network is /29. Now I will verify the DHCP service is active, running, and usable. I will show the IP address on the client side to show that the DHCP service is active. Now I will show the configuration on the crony.conf file. We can see here the local subnet is allowed in the network. Now I will show the crony service status by restart the service first. We can see the crony or NTP service on the server is active and running. On the last testing, I will now verify the synchronization from the client side to the server using chronic sources command. We can see the client is receiving from the server through the local gateway in the network. And also, I will show the chronic tracking to verify that the date of the server and the client is synchronized. This concludes the demonstration for my DHCP and NTP services for part 1. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum, saya Siti Norhaja Atiah. I will demonstrate the DNS service configuration on our Fedora server. DNS or domain name system is used to translate domain names into IP address. This allows users to access services using name instead of numerical IP address. In this project, I configure Bind as the DNS server. Our domain name is cloud.net and the DNS server IP address is 192.168.10.1. I create a forward lookup zone and a reverse lookup zone. The forward lookup zone maps domain name into IP address, while the reverse lookup zone maps IP address back to domain names. First, I will show the forward lookup zone So this is forward local zone. This is our domain cloudnet with IP address 162.168.10.1, and this is the second domain company with IP address 192.168.10.1. Next, the reverse zone 5. The pointer record show the domain for CloudNet and company. Next, I will show the byte configuration. The DNS zone are registered in the name.conf configuration file, which tells the bind service where to locate the forward and reverse zone file. So this is the configuration for reverse and forward zone. Next, I will restart the name. And I will show the status name. The status show that bind service is active and running successfully. Next, I will do the demo for the client. The DNS server is configured as 192.168.10.1. So all DNS queries are sent to our Fedora DNS server. So this is the DNS server that being set for client. Now I will perform a forward lookup using NS lookup. The results show that www.cloud.net is successfully resolved to its IP address, confirm that the DNS server is functioning correctly. Now I will test for the second one. This also so successfully. Last, I will perform a reverse lookup. The DNS server successfully translate the IP address back to the hostname, showing that the reverse lookup zone is correctly configured. In conclusion, the DNS service has been successfully configured using bind. Both forward and reverse lookup zone are working correctly, allowing client to access network services using domain name instead of IP address.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Azmina Farzanah. I will demonstrate how I create the web service. I will enable the Apache to double confirmation. We can check the status if the server has running. Now it shows active. After I configure the file directory, I create the web page sample. This is the first website that should come out when the user accesses in the browser. This is the second website for the second browser. Next, I configure the virtual host file. This is where it will assign to separate to the different. This is where it will separate different directories for the root. This is the first website, and this is the second website, which has different root for the second website and the first website. Now we will access the first website in the first client. Enter the website name and the virtual host configure file that we configure should appear like this. For the second website, we access on the second client. Enter the second website page name. Now the second website appeared on the second client. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adrian William from Binti. So for our team project, we wanted to make sure our server was completely secure, so one of the main things we did was to turn off direct root logins to keep hackers from being able to brute force their way straight to the root account. As you can see right here on the screen, when I try to SSH into the server using root, it immediately rejects it and says permission denied. Even if you know the password, the server won't let you in. Then when I type pwd, it shows /home/admin, proving that the connection was blocked and we never left our local machine. And you'll notice that when I try to run cd uploads, the terminal says no such file or directory. This is actually what we want to see. It proved that the root connection was completely rejected, meaning we never left our local machine to access the server's remote file. And that's it. It shows our security settings are working perfectly to keep the server locked down. Thanks for watching.